Now we're going to make the call on the year-end show that we have for you. We're going to start with the NFC Championship game. Who do you think is going to be in it?
Well, got to go with my old guys, the Philadelphia Eagles. Right now, they're peaking at the right time. They're playing with Michael Vick is playing awesome ball, and I think it's going to be the Philadelphia Eagles versus the New Orleans Saints.
Why the Saints?
Oh, they're the defending Super Bowl champions, and early in the season, people were concerned about them. There was a big question mark, but I think later, as the season went on, they started to find their groove, and that's what it's all about. It's all about finding your groove later in the regular season.
You might be right. I like your old team, too. You played 12 years. You ought to know. I like Michael Vick, but I like Michael Vick playing in Atlanta. Vick going home to Atlanta. Can you imagine the ratings? I like to think that the Chronicle will be sending me there to cover it, because I think it'd just be extraordinary. It'd be great. Atlanta is great at home. Matt Ryan's incredible at the Georgia Dome. But Vick going back there, I'm not so sure that a lot of the fans wouldn't be cheering for Philadelphia just because of Vick.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of Vick fans. It's kind of like the situation you have in Houston, that no matter what, there's always going to be Vince Young fans when Tennessee comes to town. So I think you're right. If Philadelphia goes to Atlanta for that playoff game, it'll be electric. I think the ratings will be, high through the roof, and hopefully HCCTV will send us there so we can cover it. Hint, hint, and that'll be a joy. And I heard a stat that Matt Ryan has only lost one game at home in his whole career, and this year they haven't lost a game in the Superdome. So that's pretty impressive.
Now I could go with your championship game or mine in the AFC. What do you think?
That's a tough one. I struggled with this one. I went back and forth, but for the AFC, I have to go with Pittsburgh and New England. Pittsburgh defense is just dominant, and they find ways to win the game. And the way New England's been playing and the way they've been coached, I think it's going to lead them to that championship game.
I agree. I don't think it's going to be even close. I think Pittsburgh's best team in the league against the run. New England's been able to do everything great, averaging almost 40 points a game since they lost to Cleveland. It's been a great run for the Patriots. I think we're going to see them in the Super Bowl, and I think we're going to see them in the Super Bowl against Atlanta Falcons.
Woo, Atlanta Falcons.
Brady and Vick. The ratings will be through the roof. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to go with the two news. And what I'm saying is the New Orleans Saints and the New England Patriots will be in the Super Bowl. So it's going to be Breeze versus Brady. Not quite the star power as a Vic versus Brady, but all in all, it's going to be a great Super Bowl, and New England's going to get another Super Bowl ring.
And I agree with you. I think New England's going to win it as well. Hard to stop Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. What a combination. Now, let's do some awards now. Let's start with the Texans. Who is your Texans Player of the Year?
You know what? It comes down to two players. I think anybody watching this show, anybody who's watched the Texans will know who the two players are, but I have to go with Arian Foster. Well, when you look at a guy who wasn't even drafted, who spent most of his time on practice squad last year, to have the type of season he's having this year, it's just awesome and it's impressive. And my Player of the Year for the Texans is Arian Foster. I
couldn't disagree with you on that, but I'm still going to go with Andre Johnson, playing hurt all year, missing one game. He's been great week in and week out. No way I'm going to go against him. Now, your league MVP, I got a feeling we may agree.
Well, it's Tom Brady. You know, Michael Vick, his name is being mentioned, but I think that's the best story of the NFL. But when you're talking about a league MVP, a quarterback that's just leading his team to victory after victory with quote-unquote no-name guys playing for him, you have to give it to Tom Brady.
If this were to be tied, I would say Vick didn't play every game.
Right.
Brady did, so I'm agreeing with you on Tom Brady. Now, our Coach of the Year?
Well, I hate to keep going with New England since we're based here in Houston, but I have to go with Bill Belichick. He's just taking guys that aren't the household names, and he's finding ways to squeeze them into his system, and it's paying off.
I'm going with Atlanta coach Mike Smith. He's done a fabulous job, has them in the playoffs again. Just nobody knows who he is except people in Atlanta, but a great job by Mike Smith. Defensive Player of the Year?
Clay Matthews. You know, you talk about a guy who could rush the passer, who could blitz, who can cover. I love the way this guy approaches the game. I love his intensity, and he's very, very productive.
We're not going to see your Defensive Player of the Year in the Super Bowl based on what we just said. We're going to see mine, and mine is Troy Polamalu, the Steelers' fabulous safety. He's had another great year. He's only played about an average of 11 games the last 3 years. This year he's been great, hadn't missed a game. It's been unbelievable.